Good morning, Sonder family. Nothing like starting the day with a little musical number. I don't know about you guys, but musicals replenish my soul. They make my heart so happy. And so that song was Good Morning from Singing in the Rain. And I thought it was a perfect way to kick off our Monday morning. You guys have Team Texas this morning. I am Jennifer Ogilvy. Today, I am coming to you from Burnett, Texas. We have a family place in the hill country of Texas. It's called Burnett, Texas. And we always say burn it, darn it, learn it, because people want to call it Burnett. So I'm in a different location today. I'll let you know I have a satellite internet connection today. Sometimes it gets a little funky. So be patient if anything weird happens. But we've got Katie on standby. If anything happens, she's giving you guys a wave. Katie will be manning our chat this morning, and she is dialing in from Houston. So we always enjoy being able to say Team Texas when we get to work together. Welcome, welcome. I saw we have some brand new socialers with us on this Monday morning. They're first timers, so welcome. If you don't have your journal, no worries. Grab your cell phone. This is a tip I like to give, and just snap pictures of screens that speak to you, images that you're like, oh, I might want to try that in my journal. I tend to do that. I don't really do my pen to paper until after attending a social, and then I'll go through and see all the things that spoke to me. Everybody take a look. Make sure you have set your chat to everyone, because sharing is caring. We love to share our tips and how each other, how we all do different sections in our journals. And so we want to make sure that your message goes through to everyone. So double check that. And a reminder, you are already registered to go into the monthly gift care raffle just by attending this social this morning. So good luck with that. And I know that many of you have your cadence, you know how you're going to set your journal up and where certain things go, but you have set this date aside, this time. You've carved it out of your life to make sure that you are starting your week with a very intentional mindset. So thank you for being here. And then if there's anything new that pops up that speaks to you, grab that, use that in your journal, but also share the things that work for you, especially for those first time socialers that we have joining us. So let's get going with our week. Now, you know that this month is replenish, and I have our theme is just been wonderful. When we start diving into these themes, we get to know ourselves better. And so that's a very important reason that we look at a theme every month. But I have loved replenishment. It hits at just the right time. These dog days of summer, it's hot. We're ready for fall to come. And we are just aching to get that good replenishment. So, okay, Monday, let's do this. So our agenda this morning, we're going to start off with our replenish activity. We'll do our weekly setup, and then we'll close, and I'll share my song list at the end. So this month, we have been exploring different ways of approaching how we look at replenishing ourselves. And we are going to look at 5 areas. And so this today we're doing spirit. I was going to say week 1, we did mind. Week 2, we did body. That was last week. And this week, we're looking at how we replenish our spirit. And I like to think of the spirit part of our lives as kind of when you have those days and you're kind of like, and you just don't feel motivated. And you're just it's just hard to get that spark to move and get going with everything. It's just, you feel kind of the doldrums. I've got the picture of my page working through the replenishment prompts up. You can see I did mind, body, and this week is spirit. So I was thinking about how we actually frame spirit, because so many of these things cross over. They're not separate. We're not a separate person. We have our physical body. We have things going on in our minds. We have things going on in our spirit, and you'll see a lot of crossover when you start looking at the things that replenish you. I love this quote: rest and self-care are so important. When you take time to replenish your spirit, it allows you to serve others from the overflow. So you prioritize yourself first. Remember, you cannot serve others from an empty vessel. And we talk about this so much in our self-care journeys as we share the Silk and Sonder times together. So I started thinking, how can we really dive into what it means to replenish our spirit? And I came up with this question: what signs are you ignoring that tell you your spirit needs to recharge and feel replenished? We're really good about just pushing the things aside so that we can carry on to serve our families, to serve our workplace, to be all the things to everybody else. And we push those things down. So I want us to look at these symptoms of spiritual weariness. When you are getting depleted, do you become a bit of a cynic? Does this negative self-talk kind of enter your brain? Do you have a loss of your physical, spiritual, and emotional energy? Do you kind of just abandon your goals and dreams, just like, "Ah, just push this, I don't have time for that"? Do you get impatient with others? That's a biggie for me when I am feeling drained, that impatience with others. Do you have loss of enjoyment of relationships? And do you discontinue the things that fulfill you? If you are noticing any of these symptoms, then it is time to figure out what replenishes your spirit. So I came up with a few things for me. I'll share that, and then I'll put on some music so you guys can dig into this prompt. But I know if I pray and really lean into scripture in my faith belief, that helps me. Sometimes it's as small as just putting on real clothes, getting out of the yoga pants and putting on, like pants that button. Um, Maybe fixing my hair and adding a little makeup will lift me up out of those doldrums. Reach out, touch base with a friend, maybe someone I haven't spoken to in a while, helps me feel replenish. It reinvigorates my spirit. Putting on any kind of funny, uplifting comedian, some act or a great movie, and really find laughter. Laughter is so good for replenishing. Sometimes just sitting and coloring while I have soft music playing to kind of recenter and get those emotions leveled out. A forest bath, go out into nature, really notice the birds, the trees, the wind, dancing, sewing or quilting, just getting a good hug, going for a drive somewhere beautiful, get away from all the concrete that's in the Dallas, Texas area. Uh, and then just maybe make a plan, like just sit down and dream a little bit. And then remember that this too shall end. And sometimes we just have crummy days, and we can give ourselves permission to do that. Just have a crummy day, and then the next day is brand new. So I've got a list of things for you to consider as you are responding to week number 3 and replenishing that spirit. Think about ways you can meditate, mindful breathing, hot baths with Epsom salts. Those salts are supposed to be so good for us. Use your imagination to send good energy out into the world. Think about sending love positively to strangers, smiling, that kind of stuff. Move your body, music. Think about the clothing you're wearing. All those good things. Good crying, a good cry sometime is good. Get creative, maybe get away. take a day off, think about the nutrition you're putting, all the things you're putting in your body. Give yourself permission to zone out, being quiet, being loud, having alone time, rest, all those things. So those are some things to hopefully spark the ways you can replenish your body. And I'm going to play a song while you guys answer this prompt.
There was a time when I was in a hurry as you are. I was like you. There was a day when I just had to tell my point of view. I was like you. Now I don't mean to make you frown. No, I just want you to slow down. Have you never been mellow? Have you never tried to find a comfort from inside you? Have you never been happy just to hear your song? Have you never let someone else be strong? Running around as you do, with your head up in the clouds. I was like you. Never had time to lay back, kick your shoes off, close your eyes. I was like you. Now you're not hard to understand. You need someone to take your hand. Have you never been mellow? Have you never tried to find a comfort from inside you? Have you never been happy just to hear your song? Have you never let someone else be strong?
All righty. So I hope you were able to lean into this and kind of think of the ways that you are able to replenish that spirit while still giving yourself permission to realize not all days are going to be the best, and that's okay. So let's get on with our weekly setup. All righty. I'm ready. I said, I found this. I love it. There are 7 days in the week, and someday isn't one of them. And I think that is a great reminder about replenishing and taking care of ourselves, because we have these 7 days, right? And if we keep putting all the things we want to do off until someday, that may not happen. So let's grasp on to these beautiful 7 days that are ahead of us. I want you to think about how you would like to feel this week. And I've got a whole bunch of words. I will come back to this slide in a little bit so that you can pull from there, or you may already know what you want your week to look like. I need to have a productive week. So that's going to be one of my words. I usually choose about 3 words for how I want the week to go. And then we're also going to, while we're thinking about how we want to feel, I want you to think about the 3 major things you would like to accomplish this week, those 3 major goals. And some of the ways that you can use the space is you can go back and remember those August intentions and habits you set at the very beginning of the month. Turn back to that page, those 2 pages, and take a look at how you're doing. And are you leaning into the intentions that you set? And if not, that might be a really great way to frame what your goals are. Set your goals through the lens of replenishment. What you're going to do this week to replenish yourself. You can look at your previous weeks, maybe flip back and look at those goals. And if you need to just transfer some over, that's okay. Remember, this is your journal. This is all about you. No one is judging it. Just do you and make it work for you. Frame your goals around maybe one personal challenge. Maybe you're really going to try hard to eat healthy or declutter one room or those kinds of things. And you can break those goals down into that way. And then there's also the create 3 no goals. What are you going to get rid of? I was telling Katie this morning, I got a notice that all my Gmail is just full. The photos, the email, and I have to sit and do some big decluttering and unsubscribing and cleaning that stuff out. So those are some of my goals this week. And then if you want to just repurpose this space, there are some suggestions in the slide, ways to repurpose. You can use this for quotes, that kind of stuff, movies you want to watch, topics you want to know about. A lot of people are creating little bingo boards in this space. It can be whatever you need it to be to work for you. Here are some examples from the Sonder family, how they've set that page up. And when we're working on this section, I will go back and forth between these slides so that you can take another look at that. And then I found this one week before last. You can see they put their feelings up there, those 3 feelings. And then instead of doing 3 major goals, they are unplugging, and they gave themselves options to find ways to unplug. So they're not just sitting there. They know, oh, I can go take a bath. I can practice my hand lettering. So they kind of had that solution for what they're trying to work on. And you'll notice that they put unplug down as one of their daily habit trackers. So I thought that was a great self-accountability way to frame this. And so let's work on this, how you want to feel and your goals for this week. And I'll be scrolling back and forth between these slides so you can take a look at that. Oh, Emily, I'm so glad. She said she eliminated 50 emails a day last week. That's brilliant. And we are on page 40. All righty. So now that we have our 3 goals for the week, we're kind of ready to think about how the rest of that week's going to look by looking at that bottom section on page 40, where it has our activity, uh, our I'm sorry, the one right above that, the weekly to-dos. And I love this James Clear quote. If you guys haven't read Atomic Habits, it's a really, really good book. I think it's one of our summer bingo readings on Sonder Club. And he says, instead of asking yourself, what should I do first? Try asking, what should I neglect first? Trim, edit, cull, make space for better performance. We're so good about piling on the to-dos, and we forget that we need to also take things away so that we have good balance in our life. Otherwise, we find ourselves needing lots and lots of replenishment. So these are some tools that have been shared at setups before. So you've seen this if you've come to some of these weekly setups. This little graphic on the left is called the Eisenhower matrix. And if you have a lot going on, just a ton, work, home, school, kids, whatever, this is a really good way for you to sort through how you're going to get the things done. And it really allows you the opportunity to take a look at things and see what is important and urgent, and then maybe find the ways you can delete or delegate some of the things that are pressing forward on your plate. We can also use this to-do list as a need, want, and hope to do or wish list. And that's kind of what it will look like. You can see a Sonder family member. I've snagged some images. And so that's how they set this section up. And I will go back and forth between these slides while you guys work on that. The 3 that are kind of connected here on the left, you can see that they took the space and divided it in ways that worked for them. So one person did my to-do for self, my to-do for home, and my to-do for others. And I love that self is listed first. Then we have the morning and evening division of the to-do list, as well as the wants and the needs. So that's just a way to sort of change this little section up to work for you. And then I have been seeing a lot of little mini bingo boards put in this section, which is what you see on the right. The bingo boards are just fun. I love a bingo board because there's just some endorphins happening when I get to black that out. So, and Morgan, the name of the book is Atomic Habits, and it's by James Clear. And it's just it helps you figure out how to make the main things and not get caught up in the clutter of life. Kanban is a technique that is used in corporate America, but I thought I'd throw this slide in here. We always have our to-do list, but we have things that are ongoing. So the things that we're doing and the things that are done. And so you could divide this little to-do section up like this. And as you do things, you can put it in your done list. And I leave my to-do blank every week, and I've changed it. I've turned it into a to-do list. We'll look at that. And the things that I accomplish, I put in there. I have my to-do list on my weekly spread. So my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday thing. But this is also a great tool. If you have a busy family or you have a department, you can make a big poster of this one and use Post-it notes and let people pull and assign and that kind of thing. Great for kids to take responsibility at home. And it kind of helps everybody realize that you're working as a team. So that's just an idea. And then ways to repurpose it. I had mentioned I use mine as a to-do list. Then there's also the to-don't list. Are you trying to eliminate some things? Are you trying to stop your biting your fingernails or something like that? You can make a to-don't list. make a dread list. And I think I got this one from our other facilitator on the call, Katie. Make a dread list of the things that haven't been done from the past weeks, and just make one big list. And this is the week to knock it out. And then there's also the to be list, which could work really well as we are leaning into our replenishment. So those are some ideas that you can use. Let's put some music on. You can work on your to-do list. Share with us how you're using this space and what your week is going to look like. I know when you're writing in your journal, it's actually a little tricky to do the monitoring of the chat and write in your journal and make sure you're getting all the things. I did want to share, Sherry just said she separates that to-do list into do, don't, decide, and celebrate. She leaves space for those things that she wants to celebrate. That's kind of one of the reasons I leave mine as a blank to-do list, because as the week goes on, I do accomplish some things that maybe were not in the to-do list, but I want I want to give myself that pat on the back to do it. So always find ways to celebrate the things that you are getting done in your life. This journal is beautiful because any of the things that we are working on today can go in any of the spaces. We can repurpose and refashion this journal to work for ourselves, our lives. And again, remember, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves for things to look a certain way, but this is your journal, and you don't have to have it graded by anyone. You make it work for you. And that's one of the beautiful things about it is I saw, we've got some folks using the Eisenhower matrix. We have people just doing a list. Some folks are doing a mini bingo board. It's what works for you. And I'm so proud of all of you for figuring out how to set that up so that you have this productive week and you can be proud of all that you are doing. So let's look at that bottom section now, that habit and activity tracker. And the big question that gets asked, especially, when you are first using this journal, is we have the monthly habit tracker, right? That wheel. And then we have these weekly things that show up. And people are like, well, what's the difference? And why are there two? And that kind of thing. So the way I like to look at this space, the habit and activity of every week is different in your life. And I know we have lots of educators that just went back to school. And so this section is going to look a lot different because now they're in school. But 2 weeks ago, they were still on summer vacation and they had different priorities with their habits and activities. So I like to think of this one as a way to meet yourself where you are on any given week. And also, the monthly is kind of the thing you want to make sure you're doing every single day. So for example, one of the things on two of the things on mine, I divide my monthly into AM and PM, and I have my morning vitamins and my evening vitamins on that monthly habit tracker wheel. So these for me change up week to week to week. And there's a lot of flexibility with the habit and activity tracker. So you can see I've put some examples up. You can set your goals as daily goals, but I will tell you last week, I did not assign a number of times I was going to do something, and I ignored the days of the week. I just checked myself off, kind of like if you look in that bottom right-hand corner on this slide, they have written their goals and activities for the week, and they're only going to monitor by just checking it off with a color, right? So you can number things, or you can just put a couple of things down. The one in the very middle bottom is mine from about 2 weeks ago, and I had a just say no week. And it was the things, there I am still trying to declutter my emails, but it was things that I was trying to eliminate from my life. And I did my emails 5 times that week. I decluttered 4 bags of stuff, just, and so there wasn't a day assigned, but when I got to my 4 bags, I checked off 4 circles. 3 days, no sugar, 2 days, throw away expired food, and 1 day of no social media. So I did that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's kind of a fun way to frame this. If you'll notice on the upper right, this person only put 3 activities down, 3 habits. That's perfect. That's what this person needed for that week. So just really trying to encourage you. If you have an overwhelming week, the only activity you may track might be going to bed by 10 o'clock. And it's one thing that you're going to hold yourself accountable to. This can change from week to week depending on what you have going on in your life. And again, that's what's so beautiful about our Silk and Sonder journey. And let's see. This was from our wonderful Instagram account. If you are not following Silk and Sonder on Instagram, be sure to do it. It's got great content. And if you just don't know what you want to do this week, you can take this slide and copy this into that area, and you are set up. Thought I would share that with you. And then these are a lot of different ideas that you could throw onto that list. So I'm going to play a little bit of music. And when I come back, I'll go back and forth through these slides, and then I'll come back and we will check in. Okay, I saw some great things. A lot of you are going to use this, as Katie says, use this list to get back to basics, floss. How simple is that? But how important is that? And we just forget to take time to take care of ourselves. Sherry shared that, she's just using the same list that was last week because that's what's working for her. Again, it's just it's you do you do what you need at any given time in your life, and that's what's beautiful about these gorgeous Silk and Sonder journals and how they help us organize what we need. So let's kind of move over to page 41, and we will look at the meal plan. And this is a great area for repurposing. I see a lot of folks really embrace this long daily section as they lean into the meal plan. Now, you can certainly use this for planning what you are going to eat this week. I use mine retroactively. I always write down what we indeed did eat. My husband and I are empty nesters. I still tend to overcook, and we have a lot of leftovers. And I just want to track the day we actually ate something so that we don't pull the enchiladas out and go, how old is this? So that's kind of my accountability. But if you want to repurpose this area, I've got lots of ideas from from the Sonder family that I have pulled, so you can see the first two on this slide are actually somewhat, they're like a symptom tracker. So someone is going to track their glucose numbers throughout the days in this space, and then someone is also going to be including the hours that they are fasting. They are doing the intermittent fasting, and so they're using this space to keep track of that. And yeah, Morgan just said she uses this meal plan to track her protein amounts. And I know that when we women need a lot of protein, and that's an important thing to track. So you could really track numbers having to do with your nutrition and what you're feeding your body. There is a school list there of the things that are coming up and that need to be planned for. And then the one on the far right is actually a reflection piece that they are using this space for, and they've used the GLAD. It's grateful, something I'm grateful for, something I've learned, something I've achieved, and something that delighted me. Glad is kind of a fun way to frame this. And again, if you like that, that can go anywhere in this setup. So, and then they're looking at, reflecting on favorite moments and hard moments, wins and hiccups. And I will go back and forth between these slides. Someone is going to use this space as their place to write our daily affirmations. The next one is the 7 types of rest. And I have a slide for this in just in another section, but if you want to lean into the different areas of your life, you could track that rest type in this space. The third one is a cleaning list. And then the one on the very far right is actually a wardrobe tracker for that. And so here's a ton of ways that you can repurpose this section. I will come back to this slide. While we're on this page, I also want to lean into that mind body health plan section because both of these can be repurposed, the meal plan and the mind body health, with a lot of the same type of information. So one of the things that has worked for me, and I've kind of landed on this, I do this, I just answer these questions every week. A question, it's kind of a daily reflection, but I found this, it's a self-esteem journal, and it's just that good, positive self-talk. And so the one on the little picture on the right is from one of my journals at the end of the week. And I have, again, landed on this. I tend to use this for my mind body. We also love alliteration. So here are some ways to frame it with alliteration. You can have Motivation Monday, Transformation Tuesday, Tech Free Tuesday. And then one of our Sonder family members posted how they're using it. And that one's on the right. And again, I'll go back through all these slides for you guys. I mentioned the 7 types of rest. There's the slide explaining each type of rest. And again, if you see a slide that you really like, grab your phone and snap a photo of it so that you have that at your disposal. And then again, from our Instagram, that 4 types of self-care and how to practice it. That's a really good thing to pop into this space. Now, being that we are talking about replenishment, I found this slide on the left, the picture on the left from the Sonder family, and it pairs so nicely with our theme of replenishment. She has done I feel each day. She asks herself, how am I feeling? And what is it telling me I need? And so Monday, she was feeling tired and she realized I need rest and I need the time to renew. So she's being very reflective of what she needs. And then one more slide, and we'll work on this section, is someone is using this to celebrate the national days of the week. And so I pulled together some of the fun days that we have this week. You can use that there, or you can maybe pick a couple of these and put it in your weekly spread. And you want to be intentional about celebrating those. So let's dig into these sections, and I'll put on some music and I will go back and forth between the slides so that you can maybe grab something that is speaking to you. right. So hopefully you were able to find some great ideas to set up your meal plan section and the mind body health plan. Elizabeth shared that she tracks her workouts in the mind body health plan area, and that's a great idea. Thank you all for sharing. We're getting close to finishing up our pages. Our next one is the shopping list. And you can use this as a shopping list or you can repurpose it. And this is a great little section with all those little grids and stuff. So you can see that I shared some repurposing. There's a chore list that someone is going to use this space for. Someone else is tracking the bills due. So that, that's one of those things that needs to happen. So it's fun to put it there. Now, I have kind of landed on doing a little mini bingo board here every week. And sometimes it's like this one that's kind of down toward the middle, and I'll have some chores on there, and I might have a couple of treats, like maybe I'll go get myself a fun coffee. But in the summer, I have done two celebratory bingos. I did my birthday bingo, which is at the top. And then this is our anniversary week, and we are knocking things off of our anniversary bingo. And I wanted to mention this because I think it's a fun way, if whether you use the shopping space for this or another section in your journal, but if you have a week of celebratory events, maybe someone special to you is having a birthday or it's your birthday, make a fun little bingo board to make sure that you're intentional about that celebration, that you put some dreams on there to do. You don't have to knock them all out. Now, on my birthday week, I did because those are all things that I wanted to do for myself. But normally I just have a little mini bingo board and it'll have some like, my clean out the drawer, clean out a drawer, clean out a drawer, clean out a drawer. And there is just something about getting the endorphin rush of coloring the space in going, I did it. So, it's 38. I just did 39 years, Brenda. So happy anniversary. Other ways to repurpose, I've got a whole long list of things there that you can use this shopping space for if you want to use it for something other than that. And then we have that little bottom box there. I am loving. So what are you loving right now? Is it a show? Is it a certain food? I said one week, I was loving my $10 t-shirt dress that I got from Walmart. I think I wore it 3 times that week. So think of what you're loving right now. We will work on this space. Share in the chat how you're going to be using the shopping list if you are repurposing. My goodness, our time really does fly when we're having fun. I am going to show you a couple of ways that people set up their Monday through Friday spread. If something grabs your eye and you're still struggling with how you want those days to work, be sure to grab a screenshot of that. I did the one in the middle. They have actually written in the hours of the day, which is a great idea if you're trying to schedule that kind of things. You can see there's just different sections. To-dos. I had mentioned that I put my to-do. Here's mine. I do my daily affirmation up on top so that I'm seeing it all day long. And I play Wordle. I'm with you guys who said that you are tracking your Wordle. And then I just always have a to-do list kind of midway down. And then I incorporate a prayer. If there's anybody who, a big prayer thing that goes down there, and throw in, my time schedule up at the very top. Since I'm retired, I don't have a lot of appointments. You can see that this person is just kind of tracking a list. So I can kind of scroll back to these as we close out. And we are finished. And I hope that you've gotten some fabulous ideas. You're going to lean into the weekend and replenish yourself and just grasp. We are almost through August. We're over halfway through. So, let's finish strong. If you are not already a member of the Sonder Club, please scan the QR code and join the Sonder family. You can get great inspiration from the Sonder family. That QR code is right there on the bottom left. The code in the top center is the survey code from this social, but also I encourage you to fill the survey out when you attend these socials. Let us know, was the time good for you? What time zone are you in? What works best for you? And any other suggestions that you might want to see in your journal, because the customer service of Silk and Sonder is amazing, and they bubble all this information up to the right part of headquarters to make sure that we can offer the best things for how you lean into using your journal. And that all important YouTube link for the social recordings is down there on the bottom right. And remember, this is a private YouTube channel. It's not searchable. So you've got to be able to link directly up to this. Give us about 2 business days following a social for that video to be rendered and posted to the channel. And just as a reminder, the chats are not part of that. We just can't, we're not able to render the chat into the video. I will close out. I'm going to put on a little song for you guys, and then I'll scroll back through those last couple of slides with the setup. Thank you so much for joining Katie and me as you go strong into week 33 of 2022. I'll see you next time, Sonder fam.
And as far as I can see, I'm losing control like a bad disease. No, I just can't get relief. I've been shot down by the life police. Cause every day I try to rise, but I can't succeed. Can anybody find a cure for me? You can be bitter, 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 or you can be better, better, better. When life gives you lemons, it's gonna be okay. Don't worry, little children, and don't complain. Whoa, remember you're golden. To find some sugar cane. When life gives you lemons, take lemonade. Come, hey, I'm a come, hey, I'm a come, hey, I'm a come. Now every day is like a brand new year. I throw my hands up in the air like I just don't care. I'm moonwalking down the streets feeling like oh yeah. Well, at the bottom of the glass now I see clear. So now I laugh just a little more. I stand much taller than I did before. I know I'm not where I need to be, but I thank God that I'm not where I used to be. I used to be bitter, 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 but now I feel better, better, better. When life gives you lemons, it's gonna be okay. Don't worry, little children, and don't complain. was saved for a reason that I can't explain. Got something new to believe in. I'm awakened again. So many miracles are happening each day. If I can just get out of my own way. When life gives you lemons, it's gonna be okay. Don't worry, little children, and don't complain. Whoa, remember you're golden, so find some sugar cane. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Lemonade, 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 lemonade. Lemonade, lemon. When life gives you lemons, it's gonna be okay. Don't worry, little children, and don't complain. Whoa, remember you're golden, so find some sugar cane. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Lemonade, 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 lemonade.